what you have shown us is one of the topics we are focusing on with our program here at Aeres University of Applied Sciences in Almere in the Netherlands. We focus on biology, ecology and geography, and all disciplines familiar with these focus points. And what I would like to stress is, first of all, it's very important that we see the consequences of human behavior like you did in your documentary. But the second thing is that we discuss a lot about the problems we cause, but it still remains in discussing. And I think it's very important that we don't ask consultants to describe the problems, but that we all do things to solve these problems and the consequences of our deeds. And I believe all challenges we have as human beings in the world, all challenges we have is that we have to cooperate and to come in balance again with ecology. All the things we do in our behavior in society and economy which are not in line with ecological patterns will cause problems. So we can learn a lot about ecology, and when we do this, we can build a strong future-proof society and even a strong economy. And that's what I claim. And I think your contribution, Harry, is very helpful to show us what problems we are facing in the future when we don't change our behavior.
Thank you, Frank. Elizabeth, maybe you can also introduce yourself a bit.
Yes, good afternoon everyone, and thank you very much, Harry, for this beautiful film.
Thank you.
My name is Elizabeth Adelore, and I am an engineer, innovation engineer, and also newly elected from the 1st of April council member at the Municipality of Almere. And what I do basically, so my background is in electrical engineering, and I work around renewable energy systems, so very much on the technological part. And afterwards I thought to myself, when we talk about climate change especially, we want to solve everything from a technological perspective. And that I also see in the movie, especially with the melting of the glaciers. The first thing that people talk about is, how can we solve this technologically? And they started looking for ways with the sheets to cover the ice from melting. And then we see the other effects that brought also with the fibers, with the microplastic. And that's what we keep doing for every situation. We just think, what is the first way we could solve this? Technology. Whereby in reality we also have to go back to the core. What is the cause of this, and what are the other ways we can make sure that this does not occur? And for me, that was why I went ahead to study my master's in environment and resource management, specifically looking at how we can, or the role of education, especially in the Netherlands, to help our climate mitigation and adaptation efforts. And so beyond the technological aspect, I find it very important that we also raise that awareness. And at the end of the video, it also said that if we can look beyond our individual interests and look at the collective good and the planet and nature, then that is, I think, the first starting point to actually solving these issues. Because when you talk about behavioral change, for example, when we look at the way we actually behave, there's a lot of things we can change that can actually collectively solve these issues we have, like overconsumption, for example. Most of the time we consume so much that we don't even need. And I look at myself as well in the mirror, like I have so many clothes that I don't even wear up to 50% of it. And that's to tell you that as humans, we want to keep consuming and consuming, and the more our GDP increases, the more our economic wealth increases, the more our consumption pattern increases. And these are things that we have to ask ourselves, like, is this really necessary? And what is the impact to my environment? What is the impact to nature and to come back to that and look at ways we personally can make an impact and create solutions to climate change problems. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. That was very much many details. Very interesting, actually, that you mentioned the clothing, because my wardrobe is sort of the same. But coming to that, actually, the textiles is also a thing. There are a lot of textiles which contain microplastics, such as fleece, but also satin. And you're wearing a blouse made of satin, so that is actually plastic. It's interesting, Harry, you made with this documentary things very visual. We saw some befores and some afters from the melting glaciers. And the things that were mentioned in the documentary were making things very realistic, like the measurement over in 1 year time, 4 meters of meltdown. That is a lot, because if I look here and I calculate like 4 meters, that's higher than the floor to my ceiling in my home, and all of that is just gone, is melted. It's very interesting. But what, in your opinion, would be the most effective thing that can be done now? Because we already heard Frank saying that we should not be talking about it and discussing about it. We should take actions. So Frank's mind is very much focused on what are we going to do about it. So I would love to hear from you. What is the one thing that you feel this will make a really big impact to maintain the glaciers?
Mm-hmm. I'm not an expert. I try to translate from the expert to the audience or us or the people at all. And that's what I did with this film. I show the problems. I show some opinions and solutions, but I will not decide, and I will not put myself on I have my personal way of life. I am vegan, and I travel with public transport, and I try to find in every situation of my daily life to see what impact it has on the environment, on our systems. And actually that would be the point, that everyone needs to know what is the impact of my daily actions, of how I take my food and where I travel to. And that's why I wanted to show that these ski areas and the glaciers up there, on a large scale in the world, they are so tiny, they're nothing. But it's very important for these thousands and hundred thousands of people that travel up with their cars and on the glacier in autumn, where there is no natural snow, where they need to produce the snow, and people go skiing before it's even winter, that those people have seen those pictures, what is necessary to maintain such a ski area up there. Because if they see the film and those pictures, they will think maybe different the next time they go up there, or even they won't go up there, because they see, I don't want to support this. And I think that's what, actually now comes the answer of your question, to learning is the most important thing. Yeah. So education on every level about the truth. Yeah.
Very nice, thank you. That's very interesting. There was a man in the documentary, I lost his name, but he was sitting by the glacier, and then at some point he was saying that maybe in so many years the glacier will be divided into 3 lakes, and there will be rocks and greenery on the left and the side, and that will be maybe beautiful as well, but I won't be living to witness that. I found it very interesting, because I myself have a biology background, and I also believe in survival of the fittest, adaptation of life, but also in the recycling of water. So my question is, do you really feel that these glaciers are not meant to melt Are they supposed to stay ice, or is it okay if they melt?
It is. There had been times 5,000 years ago the glaciers have been much smaller than now. So it is a coming and going, and there are those ice ages and not. But even in the warmest period between the last ice age and now, where it was kind of warmer than now, the concentration of CO2 has never been that high. Even has never been that high for 800,000 years. So we are shooting out of a safe zone where we, as a human race, were able to develop ourselves on this planet to do agriculture. Actually, that we are that many right now that it shoot it up. It all depends on finding fossil fuels and gas, and we took it out of the ground, and that made population explode so quickly. What I realized, and we need to find very, very quick solutions to change the system. How we can still continue this many people living on Earth, because what we're doing right now, it won't work, and it's very sad to see that it's not changing direction.
Thank you, Harry. Frank, I have a question for you. In his documentary, in Harry's documentary, it was mentioned that the permafrost was covered with fleece blankets, and this was causing microplastics, but also macroplastics to leak into the water or to end up in the water, affecting life in the water, but also coming into the water cycle. And my question to you would be that what do you think that we can actively do to prevent microplastics ending up in water?
Well, thank you for this interesting question, because nobody knows, but I will tell you. My first start in my career was in plastic industry.
Wow.
And during this time, I learned a lot about sense and nonsense about plastics. Plastics could be very helpful, but it's all about human behavior. And this example in this film shows us that when we use artificial solutions for natural problems, we also get artificial problems in our natural environment. I hope you can follow my cycle. So, first of all, I think we should not use artificial materials in natural environments, if not necessary. Second, when we do this, when we want to use artificial solutions, we have to do this with natural material. So I think stopping using plastics in these kinds of areas is the best thing to do. But there is another thing. Japanese studies have shown that even microplastics will be eaten by microorganisms. So this is not promotion for using plastics more and more and more and spoiling plastics and creating microplastics, but in the end, Mother Nature creates solutions for everything. The big problem we have now is the problem about symbiosis. In the start of our movie, we saw the discussion about the change from the Holocene into the Anthropocene area. And scientists who believe in the Anthropocene say this is an area dominated by human behavior. I don't think this is true. I like to promote the version of the Symbiocene promoted by Glenn Albrecht about 10 years ago. He said, we human beings should learn to live in symbiosis with nature. And that's what I really like and what I like to promote. Because some people say we need to save our planet. Don't worry, the planet will save itself. but we have to save our lives in relationship to the planet. And when temperature will change and life on Earth will be more difficult for human beings, Mother Nature will cause a lot of death for human beings, so human beings will not longer disturb the natural balance, and there will be a new balance again. What will be the balance? We don't know, because we have seen in the past, from a geological perspective, that there were different climates in different stages in the millions and millions and millions of years life on Earth is there. So it's our challenge and it's our purpose to come in balance again. And this means when you use artificial material, you have to be aware that you keep the loop closed yourself. Otherwise, you will disturb nature. And that's what I say about microplastics.
Fantastic. Thank you. That's a very interesting answer. And I loved it when you said Mother Nature finds a solution for everything.
Yes, maybe Father Nature takes it.
Yeah, Mother Nature maybe. Who knows?
Mother Nature.
Yeah, let's stick to Mother Nature. But yeah, that's beautiful actually. And I couldn't agree more with you, Frank. It's very refreshing to hear your point of view as well. About these microplastics, I also heard about these microbes. There are microbes now who eat the microplastics, but the sad thing is that these microplastics have also been found in embryonic water. So in amniotic fluid, amniotic fluid in vruchtwater. And that means that children who are born nowadays, they all have microplastics in their body by standard, by default. So that means me as well, probably. Everybody has it, and we know that it can be carcinic. Maybe that's one of the reasons that the cancer rates are increasing quite a lot. But it's interesting to see the development of science that there's a microbe eating the plastics. I heard the municipality was thinking to put a ban on plastics. Almere was thinking to put a ban on plastics. There was a campaign about ban plastic and I don't know, all these kind of things. But banning plastic goes quite far, isn't it? It's my trousers, it's made of synthetic material, it's her blouse, it's the shoes that I wear, it's everywhere. So, Elizabeth, what do you think? Is it realistic to have a campaign from the municipality to ban plastic or to do something with that? What do you think?
Yes, very good question, because I feel if you want to start looking for alternatives to plastic or banning plastic, Almere doesn't have a kind of castle-like structure where we have like a gate covering Almere. If we want to make sure that there's no plastic in Almere, that is something that we have to look more on a European level. Because if Europe doesn't ban plastic being imported, it's going to get into the Netherlands some way, and it's going to get into Almere some way. We don't have those borders. So in this case, from local to European level, it's not going to work, being realistic. What we can do is, instead of outrightly banning plastic, is to start looking for biodegradable alternatives to plastic. And that is, from the local level to the European level, funding innovative projects that are supporting these initiatives. And also from the European level, which I think they already did, was putting an import tax on single-use plastics. And these are some of the ways whereby we can reduce our plastic use. But on the municipality level, on the local level, one thing we can do is, of course, helping with recycling, which I don't think we do enough as a municipality, because now all the plastic just goes into a bin, but how much of that is being recycled? Not so much. And another thing that is important is also still back to the awareness, because you can from a municipality perspective, say people should reduce their use of plastic, but if you don't give them an alternative, they will keep using that plastic. So one thing is to create the awareness of the harms of plastic usage, but also we have to, from an innovation perspective, also fund the alternatives that we need.
Very good. Thank you, Elizabeth.
I have a suggestion for all those people who are eating too much and are suffering because they can't ski anymore. Just start planting trees with your family in the countryside. It would be a lovely holiday destination.
Okay.
Very good. Why not? Why not? No, that's amazing. Frank, I have one last question for you. See, since the planet was here, basically, since like billions of years ago, the cycle of the planet has been like warming up, cooling off, warming up, cooling off, warming up. Some call it the breathing of the planet by inhaling and exhaling and inhaling and exhaling. So this sounds like a natural cycle to me. However, in the last few centuries, the warming of the planet has been faster than ever. That's what they say, that's what they believe. But how do you feel about that, Frank?
Yes, this is a very, very big issue what you're talking about now. And it's also a big issue when you look to economy, because sometimes economy will be described as a system of making profits. But that's not the real economy. Economy, when you compare it with ecology, like natural organisms do to each other, is taking and bringing and making it together in balance. You need each other. And that's what we do in economy as human beings as well. So you offer a thing for someone else who has a need, a purpose for this thing. That's what we do. And what we have to do is, when we do this, we have to do this again and again and again, but not causing the damage for the environment. When we do this, we can have a strong economy without any negative impacts on ecology. So this is what I want to stress. And then the second thing you were talking about, for our own well-being, it will be necessary to behave in balance with our environment. And that's the only thing I can say. And otherwise I can come to complex cause-effect relationships. All the things we study here at Aeres University of Applied Sciences. It's very interesting, but too much for now. But this is the main thing I have to focus on. Be in balance with nature.
Yeah.
And that's why we are going to take a walk after this to be in balance with nature. And we will inhale it and we will absorb it and become one. Elizabeth, one last word from you?
Yes, I think you, Frank, and Harry have said a lot about it. One thing I can say is, from your own perspective, today when you go home, just think and try to identify those little steps that you can make your own way to make an impact. Because most of the time, when we talk about climate change, it's a global challenge and it looks extremely big. And especially the youth and children, there's this term called eco-anxiety that youths have, because this issue is so big that we feel that we cannot solve it. It's extremely complex. But in our own little way, we have to look back and say, okay, how can I make that little step to make that little change? And it can look very little in your eyes, but when you bring different pieces of broomsticks together, it makes a whole broom to actually sweep the floor that can make an impact. So I leave you with that word today. Go back, think about it, and think of those little steps you can take to make that big impact. Thank you.
And what we always have said in the past in the Netherlands, to make a better world, start it with yourself. Start with your own behavior. So you can make the difference yourself. And when we all do this, we can make a better world.
Very nice. Thank you, Frank and Elizabeth. Harry, the final word for you, because we have watched your film, we are inspired. As you can see, it's triggering a discussion. I would like to ask you to say a few final words, and then we are going to close this discussion.
Q&A after this.
Yeah, I thank you. I thank you all for coming and for organizing such festivals and bringing together communities to discuss these topics, because this is very important. Yeah, I just can tell you I will keep on doing my work. I know it's not easy to make profit out of it. It's very difficult to finance such a work, but I keep on doing it. My next film that I'm right now preparing is about storing of energy, of electricity, because in my homeland, in my home, they want to build a huge dam and for a pump storage, like using a untouched valley high up above 2,000 meters and fill it up with water, building a dam there. It's huge excavations, and I try to find out if this is needed to be, or what the techniques of modern culture. And Frank, I would love to come towards you, write you an email and ask you about, maybe you can hook me up with some experts that are working on storing energy and new techniques, like not just batteries, but maybe there are also other things going on to maybe bring it in my next documentary. And one more thing is, like, film is not always real thing. I want to show you now where I'm really at, because I'm not sitting next to a glacier. Wait, can I this is I'm in the middle of Munich, sitting on the floor.
Oh gosh.
Because I didn't have the time to find a spot, and it's really nice here.
But this is also very interesting to see.
You are grounding with the earth.
Harry, it's my pleasure to accept your invitation. So we will come in contact with each other and look what we can do together. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for participating, and thank you to the discussion panelists. Thank you, Harry.
Harry, before you go, sorry, now I'm getting a chance. Please do cover other part of the planet as well, Himalayas. The Himalaya is turning into a black rock, and everybody can see. So I am doing some campaign. I'm working together with some schools in Nepal. I'm doing my bit. So I would like you to contribute your time, and if you need any help, I can connect with you. A lot of people. And thank you so much for your time, Harry, with us. I know you are busy, you are filming right now. And thank you so much to Hogeschool, Almere, Frank, for giving us this opportunity. And thank you for hosting everything today. And thank you, Elizabeth. You are very, very kind to give us time during your busy period. I know how busy you are. I finished this one. I would like to say that we are, on behalf of My Name is Climate. So what is My Name is Climate? Before anything else, even a human being in a body with a name or gender, we are part of the ecosystem. We are part of the Mother Nature. We are ourselves. We are climate. So we have a ritual to finish this program by saying, my name is
Climate.
Louder, please. My name is
Climate.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.